Welcome back to Tied Down TV, the punk rock opinion show of me, Danny.
And Geoff.
And today, as you can see, we're not in the normal headquarters, we're in the house of the man for his generation who's got the best hairdo in Liverpool hardcore, Mr. Dave Fergusson. So, thanks for inviting us round.
Thanks for
all that. So, before we get into the meat of it, I'm just going to throw some things at you, alright?
Well,
and you have to let me know if I've missed anything out, okay? So,
by the way, remember how old I am?
Yeah.
I've got a fucking practice break.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, so, Dave Fergusson, Will to Power, Withdrawn, Evanesce, Solution 151, Walk the Plank, SSS, Salem Rages, Coffin Vickers, The Crimes, Sheer Attack.
That's it, yeah, that's on my list, I think. Yeah.
Definitely nothing else, no, you sure?
Damn Straight.
Right.
Do you know Damn Straight?
No.
It's me, Lecky and Phil.
Right.
Do like, I don't know, like negative approach type stuff.
Cool.
Okay.
And my very first band was called Deluvium, which is like a doom band.
Nice.
So it was Deluvium, then it was Will to Power, and then exactly what you said.
Right, okay.
So
now, I've left it off, but I did notice on Google, did you do a recording with Bendel Interlude as well?
Fuck. No?
No.
Foxy did.
Yeah, well that's what I thought. Well,
no,
okay, you weren't in Bendel Interlude, okay, so, first question, we're going to go right to the beginning, right? Why the drums, and do you play anything else?
Why the drums? Basically, my uncle was a drummer. He started playing drums. I used to spend a lot of time in Runcorn. So when I was in Runcorn as a kid, every weekend I was in Runcorn, parents would drop me off there. I just spend the whole weekend reading comics, watching horror films, skateboarding, and listening to music. So, how old was I? Like 10 years old. First band I ever got into was Iron Maiden because I saw Aces High poster.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
And he said, I'll put it on for you. Put it on for me, and that was it. Aces High, Iron Maiden. The next thing I heard was the Misfits. So that's probably why I'm like I am.
You're known for being a big Misfits fan. Even before I ever spoke to you, you were known for having this amazing Misfits collection.
That's it. For me, metal and punk, I liked them both straight away.
Yeah.
So there was no like separation for me. It was just all great stuff.
Yeah.
And then he was starting to play drums. I'd watch him, and I just took it on from there, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I played his drum kit. He had to take it to my house because they lost their house for a short time. And because it was there, I just played it.
Nice.
And I added another drum kit to it. I made a super kit.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I just so if you ever hear the first stuff I ever did, that's why it's always like loads of over drumming. Loads of this big kit.
So leading on from that question, who are your biggest influences on the drums?
See,
does this depend on, because obviously you've been in a lot of styles of different styles of bands?
100%. I was about to say it's a schizophrenic question for me, that.
Okay.
Because
give us a couple, like who the biggest ones were or are.
Let me think. Read St Mark, Celtic Frost.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Funnily enough, just stepping there, he just told me on the way down here that one of his first memories of you was when we were really young. He seen you walk in, I think before we even knew you were a drummer in a band.
Yeah, it was one of the first
shows. Wearing a
shows.
Harrington and a Celtic Frost patch.
Get a Celtic Frost patch on somewhere. Yeah. I remember thinking, oh cool.
Yeah, Celtic Frost, like the first ever gig I went to was Celtic Frost.
Oh wow, okay.
So, and then the second ever gig I went to was Wasp. I believe it or not, this probably won't be in the Wasp drummer.
Okay.
Frankie something. Like, amazing drummer. I know that's probably, no one's going to be expecting that, but there we go. Chuck Biscuits, for Danzig, and also for DOA.
Okay.
Who else do I like? I'm not going to say.
I'm sure there's loads.
John Bonham and all that. No, there's more. Chris Foley, SSD. Totally underrated.
Yeah.
Totally underrated. That probably covers it for now.
Fair play.
Yeah. Okay, so with that in mind then...
Budgie. Sorry.
Budgie. Yeah.
But like you say, it all depends which band I'm thinking of.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of figured that'd be the case because obviously listen to a lot of your bands and your styles do vary.
I'm also going to say, and everyone hates this guy now, and so do I, but his drumming is amazing. Chubby Fresh. those are Feed Tomorrow Integrity record. The drumming on that, unreal. But him is a dick. But
so obviously you've gone through that, your early influences on the drums and stuff like that. Liverpool hardcore, how did you originally get into it at the beginning, at the very, very beginning?
The very, very beginning. Going to death metal gigs. So there's loads of death metal gigs in the Royal Court at the time. Royal Court and the Pilgrim. I think Morbid Angel, Deicide were playing. And then you had like the start of Cradle of Filth, Impaler. You had all the weird like
they were underrated, Impaler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, you don't hear that mentioned much anymore.
No, they were good.
Brian Sales probably screaming loads right now. I'm saying all the ones Peck put on.
Yeah.
So basically, going to those type of gigs, and then every now and then there'd be a hardcore band at the same time. So I don't know. Planet X was still going. I went to see Cream and Jesus, Planet X. I tried to see Fugazi, but some punks told us the wrong way on purpose, so we didn't get to go see that. So the first time I ever got to see a hardcore gig was Voorhees, Support and Slapshot.
Wow.
And that was it. As soon as I seen Voorhees, I was like, what the fuck is this? So that was the first time I ever saw hardcore. And there's bands around the time as well, which don't get mentioned, like first tape I ever got, a band called Pig Pylon. You ever heard of Pig Pylon?
No.
Yeah. They were like a hardcore band that sounded like Side by Side, but with a drum machine from Buxton.
Right.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. And there's a band called Downfall as well. They went on to be some other maybe Bob Tilton. But that Downfall 7-inch had just come out, and that was amazing. So for me, it's strange. So my first influences were British hardcore, even though obviously American hardcore at the time was like much bigger.
Of course,
But for me, it was like Voorhees, Pig Pile, Downfall. They're the first things I ever heard.
Yeah.
And that made me want to kind of start playing hardcore. Really.
Right, yeah. So this is it's not exactly the same question, but you've been a mainstay of like the Liverpool scene since the early 90s, as far as I know, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, going back to them times, there was no social media, so not a lot of that time is documented.
Yeah.
And I find it's quite a fascinating time because it's not very documented well.
Yeah.
What was it like during that time in Liverpool? I'm talking like maybe post Planet X here.
So you're talking like
93 on maybe.
So Gavin's was like, that's the thing. Like there was nowhere that wanted those bands to play. So my feeling of the environment at the time was everywhere was awkward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and the bands that were playing were kind of awkward as well. Now this is just my memory. The bands that I play, they were just kind of jokey, and they were too jokey.
Okay.
It seemed like a bit like Star Wars Cantina bandish. Like it was all comedy punk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not throwing names out there. So straight away, wanted to do a band that was serious straight away.
Yeah.
And had something to say.
And was that Will to Power?
That was Will to Power, yeah.
Yeah.
Originally called In Touch. Before
Right.
we knew there was a Durham band called In Touch.
Right.
So our very first gig was supposed to be in the Bar Royale in town as In Touch. And when we got there, the Bar Royale closed down literally in front of our eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh shit. So Robbie Reed, I think, said there's a place called the Pink Parrot, which is on Duke Street.
Mm-hmm.
The building's still there. It was the Big Issue House, and it's just a derelict building now.
Yeah.
That was the Pink Parrot. Have you heard of that?
I heard of it and don't know much about
So that was like a goth punk alternative
I think
venue.
goth, I think that's what I know it is associated with.
So we went there and played the gig instead.
Okay.
But we changed the name to Will to Power on the way.
Right.
All I remember there was Robbie Reed was there, and I was like, fuck.
Right. Was there an official Will to Power release, or was it just?
No, I've got one practice room tape that exists with 12 songs on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think the very last song we ever wrote was an instrumental called Withdrawn, because it was instrumental, so it's a bit different to the other, so it's a bit withdrawn from the rest of the material.
Yeah.
And then we said, hold on, that's a well better name. So the only Will to Power stuff that there is a t-shirt, a couple of flyers, and a tape, practice tape.
That's it. So then obviously, I presume then it's a natural progression from Will to Power to Withdrawn if you had an instrumental.
Yeah.
So Withdrawn, obviously, with what was going on musically in the hardcore scene, maybe worldwide, it makes sense that a band like Withdrawn might come along with a really metallic kind of thing with like Earth Crisis coming about and stuff like that. You must have played with absolutely everyone at that time.
Yeah.
What bands really stood out for you back then, and was there any bands back then that you kind of just knew they're going to be?
Well, that's interesting because Will to Power played with, our second ever gig was with Earth Crisis.
Right.
So Earth Crisis came over to Europe to play, I think, 2 gigs.
Was it the Bradford gig?
Yeah, one was in Bradford.
That's the famous one, isn't it?
And maybe one was in somewhere else in Europe.
Yeah.
And Will to Power played that gig. And at the time we were doing youth crew type stuff. So it was all original stuff we played, apart from a Project X song and a breakdown song. We did Sick People. And then when we saw Earth Crisis, we were like, hold on, we need to like change this a bit.
Okay.
You know, it already felt mega old, playing like old.
So it was like, this is where it's going kind of thing.
Yeah, plus it also didn't. It felt like we were trying to copy Gorilla Biscuits. And, and we thought, hold on, we're not from that type of environment, so we just changed our kind of the way we played and what we wrote about straight away. Yeah. And that was what Withdrawn was.
How many, because I know one of the things about Withdrawn, you had quite a lot of members. How many vocalists has been in Withdrawn altogether?
Right, Neil Shock was the first one. Then it was Chris Meadows, who went on to do Earache. Then it was Lecky. And then, who was after Lecky? Jason Hearn. And then it was Grant. How many was that? Five.
So how did Lecky originally come aboard? Because he wasn't on the first records, was he?
Yeah, Lecky. So
Seeds of Inhumanity.
Yeah, so Chris and Foz left after the first EP because they wanted to do something which was like even more militant vegan.
Right.
And we didn't want to go that militant because we didn't believe in the hard line stance. So they wanted to do that, and then we thought, well, who the hell is going to fill? And I had the balls to phone Lecky up because no one else wanted to do it.
Were you in contact with Lecky before then?
Not really.
Oh, so that must have been quite intimidating.
I literally cold called him and just said,
considering the first hardcore band you'd ever saw.
Withdrawn at this time must have had name enough for you to think he might say yes, though.
I don't even know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure he'd even heard us, to be fair. No, he must not. No, he would have seen Will to Power in Bradford. So he knew what we were kind of about, I'm pretty sure of that. Because he did it. I mean, I had to go meet him at the bus station and drive him home. And it worked, we just needed a strong vocalist on it. He was the first.
How did, so obviously anyone who follows, who's followed Withdrawn might know that the Withdrawn records have recently in the process of being reissued. How did that come about? Were you messaged, were you contact about that via whatever label was to put it out? Or?
I think because Ian Glass was putting them books out and he just kind of got in touch with us and he wanted to know a bit more about the history and I didn't think anyone was interested. So I said to him, well, we did this, a couple of CDs and then we changed the name. I said, but I'd love it to come out on vinyl one day because like I've got all my stuff there on vinyl, apart from that first bit of history that I was involved with. And then a guy from Germany called Tim got in touch with me and just said, you'll put them all out. I didn't realise people were interested in it, but there was like, the demos go for a lot of money and all that type of thing. And I was going to throw all the stuff away because I had boxes of CDs. And Tim runs it's Bound by Modern Age Records. And he said, well, I'll take the CDs off you and how about we put them all out on vinyl one at a time. And there's loads of things I wanted to correct about each one. So we're going through each one and correcting things that weren't done right the first time.
What, like in terms of what?
Missing songs, production. So the next one that's due out, Seeds of Inhumanity, which is probably when Withdrawn were at its best. That was me, Martin, who's also called Onion, Phil, Danny, and Lecky. That one's got like an extra song, new artwork and all that type of stuff. So.
Well, funnily enough, with Seeds of Inhumanity, I might have told you a story before, it's actually one of the first hardcore records I ever bought because the old Quiggins, before it got knocked down, it had a record store there, and I walked in and I was just getting started, like getting into hardcore and stuff, and I bought that because it looked like a hardcore record and it sounded like a hardcore record. And the guy said to me, if you like that, the same guy brought this in, and it was the first Public Disturbance EP.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they were two of the first records I ever owned.
So the reason, this is another story, because EPA was happening around this time, the festival in Belgium. And I was speaking to the guy from Stamping Ground, and I said, how come whenever there's hardcore gigs on in England, no one moves, no one's doing anything. So this was a conversation we had in EPA. do it at a store like Salem Records, and we both decided to try and make it happen a bit in England. Like just they had Stamping Ground, we had Withdrawn, and then we tried to like make like the scene just take off a bit.
Yeah.
And thank God Knuckle Dust came about.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that band, but they're like, so there'd be a room full of bands, and if they weren't there at that time, I don't think anyone would have moved. But because they played first and the way they are, it encouraged everyone to like just like make the room like active.
I've always considered them the greatest of all time.
And it never stopped since then.
I think it's hard to argue that because the amount of people who talk about Knuckle Dust in that way. I mean, I've heard like people as famous like Frank Turner called them his Black Flag. He's like, they were my Black Flag. They changed the game.
We're worlds apart.
What's his name from Angel Dust and
as well.
Trapped Under Ice was great. It was like there was a video recently of him absolutely raving about the time when
the first album he was saying it's one of the best. So it's the heaviest,
angriest, like you know.
That's it. I mean, musically we are worlds apart.
Yeah.
But whenever we played London, or they were always amazing to us, and they were always like treat us exactly the same. But all credit to UK hardcore is Knuckle Dust. Yeah. No doubt. 100%.
Yeah. So obviously that all happens with Withdrawn, and then as far as I know, around 2002-3, Walk the Plank happens. Would that be right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. Go on.
No, go on, carry on, and I'll move on to it.
So I was going to say, so Withdrawn changed the name to Evanesce, which is a big mistake.
So Evanesce and Withdrawn was ultimately the same band?
It was always me and Onion.
We play the same stuff?
Yeah, he'd be on guitar, I'd be on drums.
Right.
And we started Will to Power and Withdrawn, and then as we just it's the same old, as we got better, playing wise, we got to sound more like Carcass and things like that. We thought, we best change the name because we're not a hardcore band anymore. But the ethics were all still the same. So it was still straight edge, it was still veganism, all that type of thing. But then the very, very last Evanesce gig, we changed it back to Withdrawn. And we played somewhere in town anyway. And Foxy was sat right next to me watching me play. And at the end of the gig, he shook his head. He goes, Dave, you need to do a hardcore band again. He goes, just knock all this on the head and do a hardcore band. And it was the day after I got in touch with Lecky, H, Brumo. Brumo was in the last incarnation of Evanesce as well on guitar. Okay. So he was already involved. And then we decided to do Walk the Plank.
Right. And so I take it, Lecky had already left Withdrawn at this point, and Evanesce, he'd gone.
Yeah, so he left Withdrawn. I can't remember why, I think he just fed up with it. I think it was getting too complicated musically for him. Right. And he was like, this isn't hardcore anymore, which I agree with. He couldn't figure out where to put words or where the interesting parts were in his mind, which I totally respect. So the next time I saw Lecky, and he doesn't remember this, I went to see Voorhees play in Leeds with the Horror maybe, and he come on stage wearing a massive badge which said "fuck Withdrawn." But he didn't think I was going to turn up. So at the end of the gig he was like embarrassed. He was like, oh man, I wore this badge just as a joke, but you can have it, so I'll never wear it again if you keep hold of it. So
that's
I'll still got the badge.
That's cool.
So Walk the Plank starts. I want to know two things actually. One, who came up with where did the idea come to make like a pirate themed kind of band? Because a lot of, not just the artwork, but a lot of the lyrics, it's very sea and pirates and
that it was just like a hook. I think that like
Captain Hook.
Come on.
I remember us all sitting around going like, we need to do like just a dead straight up hardcore band with no like fucking complicated name. So we sat there going through loads of names and they'd all been done. It'd all been done to death. And then someone just said Walk the Plank. And I was like, okay, that'll do.
It's a great name.
It is.
It's alright. It's alright.
It works. I love because all like you say, all the artwork. So if you've got like the pieces of hate and all that, it all just links in perfectly.
It all linked in. We were definitely never going to fucking dress up as pirates and all. I said, I don't mind the name and all that,
but
no costumes
and shit like
that. I want us to be like straight up Boston style. You know, just plug in, play, and the rest of it's just like the kind of the visual. That's it.
Who came up? Who did all the artwork for Walk the Plank?
Different people.
Was it?
So the pieces of hate 7 inches. were 4 different artists. One was French, one was a guy called Bukowski, one was Brumo, and the most famous one I can't fucking remember. But there was 4 people that did the art. Oh, Kev Gray.
Right.
Kev Gray.
Yeah.
The album was by Bukowski as well. Yeah, it was all different people. I think we asked Pushead to do it, and he said no. And then SSS asked him to do the album, the second album cover. You know that story, don't you?
No, but we'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so different artists.
Yeah.
Bruno did 2 of them. He did the first EP.
Yeah.
And he did one of the pieces of 8.
Right. Okay. I don't know why. I just always presumed it was by the same.
Like it kind of all fits.
Yeah. So obviously, anyone, certainly of mine and Geoff's generation, walk the plank shows, and I've said this many times on our podcast, they were the stuff of Liverpool hardcore lore, I think. I don't think there was anything before or maybe even since quite like in Liverpool a walk the plank show.
Yeah.
How would you describe a walk the plank show in Liverpool?
I felt the same way, so all them shows are because of all the people that went to it. That's basically it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's the music obviously facilitated it.
Yeah.
But like if all those people weren't around at the time, whoever it might be, a lot of them are around now. That's what made it the event.
Yeah.
Are any of those shows? Do any of them stand out the most? Like as because I mean maybe like Danny said before, maybe it's my 20 something years removed from it now, but in my head they were some of the wildest and best shows.
Yeah.
Do any of them stand out specifically, or is it just like a lot of a blur?
The boat shows were both brilliant.
Yeah.
Like the one on the Fitzcarraldo, the boat that's called Walk the Plank.
Yeah.
That was one of the best ones ever. Like I mean, I don't know if you've seen the videos.
Is that the one you've got?
Yeah.
That's the one where we started playing Black Spot, and Kev Gray grabbed the mic and just like annihilated everything, and all the amps fell over, and then we had to stop playing. They were all great.
What was so good about the walk the plank shows as well is they were so unbelievably violent, but no one ever really got hurt because no one was trying to hurt each other.
No, it was just everyone was properly going for it.
That's the thing, and like all different types of people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like people that don't even really like hardcore.
Yeah.
For some reason, there was like a zeitgeist about it. I don't know what.
I think when you look at Walk the Plank's music, it was kind of mid-paced rock and rolly as well as hardcore, wasn't it? So it would. I guess it would kind of resonate with like people who were into more traditional, more extreme rock and roll, and more because it wasn't so fast. I guess maybe more traditional punks would like it too.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it. It had that perfect pace and kind of
that's still
attitude.
That intro to the song "Walk the Plank."
Yeah,
it's still now get.
Well, I just think of people running
just remember back everybody thinking. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm most proud of. Is like I remember. You hear about bands like Bad Brains and whoever, and like people would go to them gigs to let off steam, like daily steam, like from like their jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I felt, I don't know what it was about the plank, I felt like everyone was doing that, including myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like enjoying it as much as everyone else by watching the reaction, because I knew everyone, it was a cathartic moment. And that might sound fucking out there, but it's true. Like, if you were at those shows, it was just like catharsis.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, there was something in the air. Like it's hard to explain.
Well, like what you touched on there, it was at that time. Me and you have very briefly discussed this, where we consider that a real peak for Liverpool hardcore, that period of time. And you said there about it was the people there that made it. It really was like a mishmash of everyone being there, melting pot on it.
Yeah, it was everyone. It was BMXers, skaters, normals. It was like, plus, but also an interesting point, because I said it before, because the venues didn't want you to be in them. There was venues now that did want you to be there.
Yeah.
So like, if you were playing gigs in Heaven and Hell, like they wanted you to be there.
Yeah.
So just the surrounding itself made it well better. Because if you played Guinans back in the day with Withdrawn or whatever, you felt like they didn't want you to be there. So people just drinking at the booze, and we wanted you to leave.
Yeah.
But those places, they wanted you there. So it was the people, the places, all that. As I say, it was just like a total like zeitgeist at the time.
Yeah. What period of time would you say that was then? Would you say like 2003 to like 9 or 10 or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, about that period. But it's around that time that I always think of around there. before maybe things started quieting. But going back again to just where we don't want to get too ahead. Right, so during maybe Walk the Plank's peak, there's a show, downslide, Walk the Plank. The beginning of that show, I'm there. I think Geoff was there, but I can't fully remember, but I'm just going on my memory. Obviously, Foxy gets up on the microphone with you behind the drums. No one really knows what's going on.
I was there.
It's a seat. No one. You were there, right? Definitely. No one really knows what's going on. He gets up on the mic. You think he plays 5 songs and he declares, "We are SSS." How did SSS come about? And this is meant for me a continuation now of this time.
Well, like I mentioned before, when Foxy was sat on the floor at the end of Withdrawn, I think Foxy wanted to be in a band straight away at that point. I think he wanted to be in the band that he was describing. Me and Bruno should be in.
Yeah.
So, but because the next day I bumped into Lecky and everyone else, we formed the band. That's why Foxy was so involved with Waterplank, because he knew how to present it all visually, artistically, and also thrash gig had took off, or was taken off. In fact, I think he'd started a little bit before in the skate parks and stuff, but then he just perfect timing.
Well, before he was thrash gig, he was called Meat Claw, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Meat Claw, but it was something else before thrash gig as well. I can't remember the name of it. It was something else, but so that's what happened. So while Waterplank was still going, Foxy said, "Look, do you want to do like a little like crossover band?
Yeah.
And I'll front it. I'll give it a go."
Yeah.
Because he's never been a frontman, obviously.
And I think everyone, maybe even you guys, but just talking from a spectator's point of view, I think everyone, and I think I could probably speak for most people who saw that for the first time, were a little bit surprised with how good he was. And then when the records come out, a little bit surprised with how good the lyricist he was as well. He had some clever lyrics, didn't he?
Straight away, I was like impressed with like. But he's an actual frontman.
Well, he's got a large presence. He's the kind of guy. He's one of those kind of guys. He walks into a room and everyone knows he's there. He is one of them kind of guys.
That's it. Like same if you go like same with Lecky, Foxy.
Yeah.
You know, even our first vocalist Neil, you wouldn't remember Neil. It was the same deal.
Yeah.
Some people turn up and they've got a presence.
Yeah.
And they've got like a confidence about them straight away.
Yeah.
And I've always been in bands where there's people like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a Morrissey Marr type situation.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying like, you know.
I know what you're saying.
But there's always been that type of like pairing with me and someone like that.
You know what's, sorry again to jump in, but you know what's quite interesting is when I was just going through stuff the other day, was that the first time you worked with Mark McGill in a band?
Yeah, so McGill at the same time as Will to Power Withdrawn was doing bands as well. Was it Dropouts, Grand Passate maybe? He was involved in like Liverpool music.
Yeah.
But he was more on like the punk side.
Right.
So the first time we were ever doing stuff together was it was that.
It's funny because I always had you and Mark down as like a bit of a duo, but then I thought, you know what? I think it was only SSS. Yeah, which is mad.
And Mark's a great person to be in a band with.
Yeah.
He's just level-headed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what bands are like. You've got people. You've got to have certain people in a band for it to work.
Yeah.
The one who just gets shit done. The creative one.
Yeah.
What, you know what I mean? Like,
I know too well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Foxy. So we played that gig. The songs just came out like that.
Yeah.
I didn't remember writing the songs. We wrote them in like fucking 20 minutes or something. Yeah. And then we come off stage and I think it was just like, well, fucking hell, no one liked that then. We thought no one liked it.
Yeah.
But then Foxy was like, that's good, let's carry on because everyone hates it.
Yeah.
It probably was more just everyone was a bit like...
everyone was... I remember...
It was more being stung. I remember the show. I remember there being the big chatting about like Foxy's got a band and all that.
Well, the very fact that someone got in Foxy's face during that set and Foxy ended up grabbing him and throwing down the stairs, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think that just added to it.
Is that the guy doing the...
dickhead. He grabbed him and threw him down the stairs and then he tried to come up, we all fucking threw ball. It all added to what was going to turn out to be a great attitude. You put your flag down straight away in a band and you say, this is what we're about.
And so, so there was that side, but also what I remember about SSS is like, maybe not that first gig, but going forward, we'd always put on like interesting funny songs not funny songs, like 80s music.
Yeah.
So everyone would get in this like kind of spirit of a laugh, and then SSS would come on, and play thrash,
Yeah.
and everyone would love it.
Yeah.
Like even though it was thrash, it was
Yeah,
thrash
yeah.
well. The same as when we played bloody what's the place in the Wirral outdoors with Frank Sidebottom.
Vale Park.
Vale Park.
Yeah.
We did thrash musical chairs, and all the nans were there and the kids, and everyone.
Foxy loved doing that though, didn't he? He loved
Yeah,
it.
but exactly.
Yeah.
So like he had that like spirit about him.
Well,
get the whole,
you know,
everyone involved.
You know what's funny? And I'm telling you now, one of Foxy's best mates is my mum, and the reason, right? How mad's this? He met her just from going in Super Truck where she worked, and she's one of them women who's like always worked this so everyone knows her, and they'd meet for lunch and everything. He's just always been like that. He likes to mingle with people who aren't commonplace for him, innit?
Yeah, Foxy is old fashioned.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but no.
One of my favourite memories of seeing
He's gonna hate me
SSS.
saying that.
One of my favourite memories of
Serves him right for not coming on here himself.
seeing SSS was at a gig. I think it was when we played in Chester, or when he played in Chester.
Yeah.
And someone, you could still smoke indoors, and someone was smoking cig, and he just went up to him and went, "Give us a drag, you ciggy there, mate."
Yeah.
So we gave him it, he just went like that. Just kicked into a song, like, fucking brilliant. So obviously,
he called him old fashions because he loves Blackpool, he loves bingo,
And he loves rides.
There we go. So I mean, good old fashioned because like I've took a leaf out of his book now. So there we go. It's all positive.
So obviously SSS. Then he released the first album, Dead and Gone, and then Earache became interested. So obviously everyone knows Earache Records are into alternative music in the UK. So how did that feel knowing like a label that's got obviously a bit of legend and lore behind it?
That was great. This is where don't even know how that happened. I've been told a story, and like I don't know if it's true.
Let's hear it.
But it's an interesting story. So let me think. So we're on Dead and Gone. We've got Sean to thank for that first of all, the original drummer from Down and Out, because we did a tour and he convinced Ian to put it out. So his water plank will put out Dead and Gone, SSS. And then he did the first LP.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I knew, Foxy got in touch and he said, "Do you want to be signed to Earache?" And I was like,
What a conversation.
Yeah.
What a conversation.
Yes, please.
so I'm not aware whether we sent stuff out to try and get interest. I don't know about
or
that.
if I just kind of...
All I know is Foxy phoned me up and he said that Earache have heard it and they want to sign us up for a 3-record deal, and they want to redo the first LP with new artwork.
Yeah.
Now, this is the bit which I don't know if it's bullshit or true. He said the way Earache work is they've got 2 offices. They've got one in New York and they've got one in Nottingham.
Yeah.
He said, so what they have to do is they have to collaborate and decide whether they want to sign a band. Now, apparently, they sent it to the New York office, and at the time, Scott Ian was there.
Oh, wow.
Now, apparently they put it on, and Scott Ian said, "This reminds me of SOD," and he said, "You should sign these guys."
Like high praise, like.
So this is what I've been told, that Scott Ian heard it,
Yeah.
and he said you should sign them, and then we got back to, what's his name, is it Dig?
Dig, yeah.
And they signed us for the 3-album deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now whether that's true or not,
Yeah.
I don't know. But it happened fast, so maybe it's true.
That's cool.
So you were on obviously the first album. You're on the Dividing Line.
I'm on the first 3 albums.
First 3.
So 7-inch, so demo 7-inch, self-titled, Dividing Line, Problems to the Answer, and then they carried on doing another album after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And who did the SSS artwork? Obviously the first.
Foxy put everything together
Right.
on the demo. French did the first LP logo, the one we had to change.
Yeah.
So but he did both versions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did the original Kiss one, and he did the
Case of you like.
the redone one.
Around that time you got signed to them, actually, sorry to jump in.
Yeah.
It's just come to me then. You said a little thing in Kerrang, didn't you, as well? I'm sure I remember seeing it, like a little picture of like Up and Coming or something like that.
Yeah, all that started to happen.
Yeah.
And that's why I get uncomfortable.
No, fair enough.
Like magazines.
Too many
or
people asking you too many
stuff.
questions.
It was just too weird. But yeah, so let me think. The second LP, The Dividing Line, was meant to be Pushead that did the artwork.
Okay.
So we sent it off to him to be done, and he was like said, "Oh, just in the middle of sketching it all out. It's all being done, no problem." And then the day we needed the artwork, he sent an email, just still got, basically saying the dog ate the homework. He said, "You never believe this." It wasn't a dog ate the homework. He said, "I knocked me ink over and I went over your whole artwork."
Okay.
So he said, "That's even better." send us that.
Yeah.
Because how good's that?
Yeah.
Like a little bit of Pushead.
That's the accident, isn't it?
It was like that Bowie album where you can't see him.
That's right, yeah.
Before that came out, so I said, that's great, let's do that then.
Yeah.
Like a fucked up, like, Pushead piece.
Yeah.
But he never replied. So I don't think he ever did it.
No.
So that night we had to come up with anything we could come up with.
Yeah.
And we came up with that, like the skull thing. But then realised like a bit after that it should have been the Toxic Riots dividing line photo, which is much better. And then fast forward to Temple of Boom, need to raise some money. I said I'd do an SSS shirt for them. That's when I started drawing again.
Oh, cool.
And I come up with the, I don't know if you ever saw it, like the SSS t-shirt where it's a liver bird crushing Pushead's skull.
I think I saw that. I would have seen it.
So basically it's a liver bird grabbing one of Pushead's skulls and crushing it because he fucked up the artwork.
That's cool.
And there's like a Liverpool scarf that says Liverpool on it. But yeah,
Nice.
that was like a dividing line artwork I did later on.
Standout SSS shows, have you got any, or is it all kind of blur into one for you?
Fucking hell, I put my cheat sheet there for rotating.
Well, the question is then, big venue, little venue, what would you prefer?
There's gotta be loads.
You prefer the smaller spaces? Because obviously SSS ended up playing big festivals as well.
The smaller, intimate ones are like the best.
Yeah.
Funniest ones when we played Brixton Academy and lost 50 quid for playing it because we parked the van outside, come out and there's a parking ticket on it. So we played to 5,000 people, sold out.
And it cost you 50 quid.
Yeah, 5,000 people sold out. What was it, 30 quid a ticket? Yeah. And we lost 50 quid playing it.
Yeah.
That was funny. Some shows in Europe are really good. I don't know, they were all the ones where everyone was having a laugh.
Yeah, one of the funnest bands and one of the most talented of year and stuff. You understand why Earache came calling, put it that way.
Like you said, a lot of the time when we play, we'd be playing hardcore gigs and people were just like, what the fuck was that? Yeah. So we had a lot of what the fuck was that?
But weirdly as well, I remember, I think it was in Heaven and Hell you were playing, and in the downstairs bit maybe, and everyone was kind of moshing, and I'm sure it was Mark said, stop moshing, we're not a hardcore band, we're smellies, we're a mosher band or something like that.
Yeah. I know a couple of good ones. We played in London, or was it Newport, and Foxy brought a stand on, like from a school, and he had like a big long chalk thing.
Cool.
And he was teaching people like what to do, just being a dick.
Cool. Yeah,
and then Nate was there. I think his band played, what band was he in? Some hardcore band.
On Thin Ice.
Maybe. Yeah, it's on Thin Ice. And we come on and Foxy's fucking teaching them how to like wash and shit like that, how to headbang. That's cool. And he was just like, what the fuck's this? It was that. Vale Park, amazing. I can't think of any more, but they were all good. Yeah,
they were all fun. So, the other band obviously that you're in now, Coffin Vickers, how did that come about? Obviously not what we're used to up until this point with you. How did it come about? Because like I say, it's not really what we were used to in a day. It's not what we were used to in a Dave Fergusson band.
Musically? Yeah. Well, it's music I've always liked. Yeah. So like, going right back to the beginning, you've got like, thrash, you've got like, I suppose, hardcore. I was always interested in like gothy tinged new wave. Like, whatever Coffin Vickers is, it's a bit more in that realm anyway. Cool. So when SSS finished, me and Russ said, let's try and start a band. Because we were obsessed with like the same things at the time. We liked TSOL, we liked that film Suburbia. Yeah. And we said, let's just do a band like that and see what we come up with. Yeah. So we were in Salem Rages together anyway. So musically it was kind of along the similar lines. But there was a bit of a gap after that. So we had like Sheer Attack and all that type of stuff. I'd give up playing. I'd put the drumsticks down. Okay. I didn't want to be in a band anymore. And there was a lad from work called Andy. He said, look, I play bass, do you want to have a little jam one day? So I said, yeah, go on then, but like, I wouldn't do anything with it. So we went to Vulcan, started jamming, and I phoned Russ up and Adam and said, look, you might want to get in on this. It's at the time, it sounded like the big boys, believe it or not. Okay. It was like funky inspired, like gothy it was something weird. I said no one else is doing this like big boy style stuff mixed with like the Banshees, so let's try and do that. And that's how it started.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, speaking obviously, you said you've had frontmen with a lot of presence.
Yeah.
Russ has definitely got bags of that as well.
Yeah.
So me personally, Coffin Vickers are, and I've said this on the channel before, so I'm just going to talk to you, but you guys are one of my favourite bands who are currently active across all genres. In a creative space, like, obviously you touched on it a bit there, like for me it doesn't seem like there's many rules in what how the sound you're aiming for is what comes out almost. Is it organic, or was that always the plan, like to be, rather than limit yourself to we've got to sound like this, because obviously it's post-punk, it's gothy, it's got those vibes, but there's definitely other things coming as well.
It's totally whatever we like.
And it's just organic, it just kind of
100%,
nice.
it's totally organic.
Yeah.
And because when we play, people come up and say all kinds, you sound like Killing Joke, you sound like Banshees, you sound like all kinds of stuff.
I get a bit crowd rock from it sometimes as well.
Exactly, yeah. It's literally everything we all like is like individuals. It just happens.
Yeah.
So it's like probably the most natural like band I've been in.
Yeah.
Because at like Waterplank we were like Boston hardcore.
That's
SSS
what I mean.
crossover.
It does feel like there's more of a just. Like you obviously had a core idea when you first starting it, but it does seem quite organic.
There's some theatrics as well in Coffin Vickers when you're visual theatrics.
Yeah, when you watch live.
With Russ and stuff, which totally works, by the way.
It's amazing. I know I didn't come, but I saw some of the footage from the Halloween show you did, and you were covering Danzig and that, and it looked amazing.
That's great.
But
that's it, like the theatrics and all that, like that's kind of what we also wanted to inject into it. But also just for it to be good as well, have good songs. The main thing
definitely nailed that.
Is like having good songs.
Absolutely,
that's it. That's
So, before I ask you my special question, I'm just going to let you ask you a little bit. Sorry, Geoff, go on.
You kind of jumped on my toes there.
Sorry,
I had one more question relating to Coffin Vickers. So last year on Record Store Day, or earlier this year, you put out the Napalm Vickers.
Oh yeah.
So you recorded Subterranean Glow. What was it like working? So you worked with Barney and John, wasn't it, from Napalm Death?
Yeah, so
how did that come about?
Barney sang on the third SSS.
That's right, yeah.
So so we'd had like history with them anyway. But you know what Liverpool was like? You know, you go to Swan and people from Cardiff are there.
Yeah.
It's more like ingrained than you think.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So we knew Barney anyway. And also John has been in bands with Adam before. And he was just up for doing it. He just said, like, you know, we'd like to do a little.
Because again, for the sound of your band, maybe not who you would think coming on doing a guest spot on vocals, but fucking works. Like,
am I wrong in thinking your guitarist played in Napalm Death filled in recently?
Well, he's in them now.
Is he the session guitarist?
Okay,
So Adam plays bass in Napalm Death. God, I think he come back from like South America the other day, so that's what's funny. So he plays South America, and the next day he play like town here.
That's amazing.
So he's still currently in Napalm Death. So you know, and he was in another band called Corrupt Moral Altar with Ollie, who plays bass in Coffin Vickers, and John from Napalm is also in that. So everyone knows each other.
So it's just like,
and we wrote a fast kind of, faster song. We said, why don't we see if they want to do it, and they wanted to. So
amazing. So have you done with
that's cool.
I just want to ask you about the Crimes finally. Is the Crime stuff the last stuff you've released? And just talk a little bit about it, people who might not know.
So obviously, so the Crimes are just me and my partner Anya. She's Polish. Basically how that came about, I wanted to write music from scratch, have nothing prepared and see what could happen. And one day I heard Anya talking in work, like semi-arguing, and I thought, bloody hell, I could put some drums behind that sound. I liked the cadence of the accents and the voice. So basically, we just formed a band. And I said, right, let's go to the studio with nothing written, like nothing at all, just some ideas in our heads, and that was it. So went there, I did the drums, the piano, the guitar, the bass, I play everything on it, and Anya does all the vocals. That's basically the Crimes.
But
I wanted to do something without having any safety nets.
So if you had to describe the sound, how would you describe it?
Fucking hell. I don't know. People think it's weird. Just like I don't know. I couldn't. That's what I think about it. There's a bit of Susie and the Banshees in there, I suppose. A bit of The Cure. A bit of Mayhem, believe it or not. I'd have to describe that like at the time why. But also a bit of traditional Polish stuff in there. Also a bit of like early LA punk, like the Bags. And the Weirdos. So that's basically it. But that's what I said before. I've always been tied to someone else in bands, whether it be like Onion for the first few bands, or Lecky, or Foxy, or Brumo. There's always someone else I could bounce off, but kind of feel safe with. But with the Crimes, it was literally like, this is just all me. And then and you could bring vocally to it.
So you're a little bit scared, like about what the reaction could be? Is there any kind of pressure if it's just you?
No, because I'm happy with what I did already.
Okay.
Like we went to a studio with nothing and came out with like 15 songs.
Wow.
You know, and obviously they vary in like kind of influences and quality and all that, but it's all just whatever we came out with there and then, with no idea what we were gonna do when we went in. And that's what I wanted to do.
Cool.
Brilliant. So just to finish up, I've got 2 fun questions for you, right? One of them probably won't have a very interesting answer, but I'm going to put it to you anyway. Have you ever been offered the gig as a drummer for a band that you've turned down and then regretted
it? Cradle of Filth.
Look off.
Really? Yeah, Cradle of Filth played. They had a demo out at the time. They played the bar in town, the Royal Court Basement Bar, and their drummer was leaving, and they asked me to join. But I was too young. I think were they Ipswich or something? Yeah. I said I can't do it. I don't know if I regret that, because it was just.
And at the rate they sack members, from what I believe, you might not have done them that long anyway.
I mean, it's a good. Tell you what, though, it's an answer.
To say you could be play with Cradle of Filth.
There's been other bands that people said, why don't you get in touch with them? And like maybe something would have happened. But I don't like joining bands. I'd rather make bands.
Make one,
You know what I mean? I'd never feel like.
You'll feel like an outsider. Almost trying to fit into something that's already established, isn't it?
Even if what I create, people don't like, it's a creation that
it's yours.
Is new. And that's why I hate doing cover versions, because spending time learning covers, I'd rather spend time creating a new song.
I feel that, man. That's cool.
So I'm going to end with this question, right? And I've been excited about this question.
Oh, shit.
You can't cheat, all right? You can't cheat. Right.
I'll probably cheat sheet away.
Right.
I haven't even looked at it really, so it's alright.
Right. So can we keep that?
If you want.
Yeah, let us have that.
There's probably loads of shit on here that I forgot. Lecky's fights, someone punching someone that looked like Foxy because he thought it was Foxy.
It does look like Foxy.
I see. Earache, I thought you might ask about that.
Let us have that. That's a good little souvenir for us. Right,
post.
okay, so I'll make it a bit easier for you, because obviously, as we've touched on here, Dave's been in bands of various genres, but I'm going to make it easier for you, because I think I know what your answer would be if I just add it like universal. A hardcore band. Okay, a hardcore band. If you could pick, like a 5-side team, right, a 5-piece hardcore band, a perfect 5-piece hardcore band, based on everyone you've ever worked with.
Okay. Fuck.
Who are you picking? 5 pieces. Obviously, you're the drummer.
You're on drums. It's 4 other members, isn't it?
You've got to give an answer.
This is gonna
piss some people off.
Oh shit. Okay.
Maybe think of the easiest. Like a bit of. Surely there's one guitarist better than.
I'm gonna have to go with Brumo on guitar because I've done 3 bands with him.
Right, so you know him well.
Martin, I love you. You know I love you, but it's one of them. I've done 3 bands with Brumo. And just like Martin, we just gelled. And like we could write songs all day long. In fact, there's an SSS LP out there that we wrote that has never been put out. And it's like, we just wrote songs like all day long. So Brumo guitar.
One first guitar.
So I'm the drummer, Brumo guitar. Oh, there's 2 guitars?
Yeah, it's got to be 5 piece, man. Okay. I'm not letting you off the hook there.
Okay, well.
Or actually makes it maybe a bit easier for you. Maybe you could put your guy on there.
Oh shit, what about Adam though? Well, Adam's a napalm death, so he's alright.
He's alright, he's gone so
Adam, you know, love you as well. So I'm going to go with Onion.
Onion.
Because the very first proper band was with Onion in it, and he got me into all the other side of hardcore. And he also, I remember him kicking ass as well, like in Liverpool, like when we walked the streets, someone would give us shit, and he'd be straight over there fucking throttling them.
Nice.
And he was like, never take any shit, Dave. All that type of stuff, you know, I was under his wing.
Yeah.
You remember that. So I'd say Onion's a second guitarist.
Right.
That leaves bass.
Bass.
And vocals, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Who have I had in bass? Howard McGill, Ollie. Who else? Fuck me. Who else has played bass? Mark Glacier.
Ooh,
Fucking hell, they're all totally different though.
Yeah.
For a hardcore band.
For a hardcore band.
Yeah. Glacier could do it though, couldn't he as well?
Yeah, he could do it, but I don't think he'd mind me saying H.
Right.
You know, because H is just like... H is a better bass player than he ever gets credit for. So a lot of Water Plank songs are written by H. You know what I mean? Like you just come in and go, fuck, there's a song, and that's so I'm going to go with H on bass.
So now it's the money shot. Who's the vocalist?
First thing that came to my head was Lecky.
Lecky.
Like, you know, Water Plank, Withdrawn, done 2 bands with him.
Yeah.
First thing was Lecky.
So what?
All that wrapped in a nice little bow as a present. Foxy can sort all that out and make it look great. Foxy, great frontman, great lyricist, great presentation, great putting gigs on and all that. He can sort the rest out there.
Yeah. Sounds like a good band.
Diplomatic.
I'd go and see that band.
And anyone I forgot, I'm fucking sorry. Like, there's been too many people in the band, so...
So that's us done, I think.
That's it, yeah.
Alright.
Thanks for watching.
Everyone check out all of Dave's bands. We'll put the links in. You won't get...
Go and try and catch
I'm
Coffin
sure you would
Vickers
have
live
heard
as
most
well.
of them anyway, but I'm sure if you haven't, we'll put the links underneath.
Yeah, sure.
And if this is shit, don't fucking write anything bad in the comments.
You know the score anyway, so go like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, jump on Instagram, Facebook. You want to give us some messages, likes and follows, and we'll see you next week.
That's what I do. That's what I do. They die.